relations should deeply involved.
We sought the views of clerics who revealed the spiritual implications of incest.
We read about a curse being placed on any man who sleeps with anybody that is blood related.
When you go to some mosque or you go to some churches, they're talking about prosperity. Rather than telling them how do we develop ourselves spiritually, they won't talk about that again.
Again, should they be concerned for the unborn upon arrival?
The consequences can be managed through therapy. We need to prevent further occurrence through therapy as well.
While the law is already taking its toll on the suspects, there are indications that the victim, who is presently undergoing medical attention, may be delivered of a child for her own father in less than 6 months if nothing is done.
I'm actually speechless. It's left to the law to take its course. But we'll be talking about a crime-related issue, the connection between rape and indecent dressing, if any. But we intend to present varied opinions on this sensitive topic after these messages.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce. Let's go, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, working. That's right. Playing. Yeah. Here we go. Milk, chocolate, malt, prepared mix, ready to drink. Hollandia Chocomo. Shap, nutritious drink every day. Drink it up. Hollandia Chocomo. Oh yeah. Shap, nutritious drink. Yeah.
Brought us as usual.
As usual. You have no problem.
For the three put
you are welcome, sir.
As usual, yeah? I was
welcome. You take that one. You take that one. You don't understand? We want Nigerian homegrown rice. Finish. You don't have? You don't have?
Join the rice revolution today.
No other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. Mobu to come to chocolate rice of made in Nigeria here. And see how it are made.
Correct.
How they are cook it.
Correct.
Homegrown rice are good for your health. It will boost our economy and will give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Experience, they say, is the best teacher.
They hold us from the sea. Thank God that we came back home. They should not go there because it's not good. It's a very bad place. So they just may have us. Even now, sir, they are shooting the boat they are going to use to go Italy. Let them stop it. Our country is good. Our country is a blessed country. Now I know our country is a blessed country. I know before I for not travel from Nigeria to Libya. I know how much I spent.
Let these personal experiences serve as a lesson to all who would repeat their mistakes. A word is enough for the wise.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
At the end of 2017, the Buhari administration delivered a number of unprecedented achievements. Generated power has gone up to 7,000 megawatts in 2017 from 3,000 megawatts in May 2015. More than 1.6 trillion naira has been spent on infrastructure for roads, bridges, housing, dams and railways. Nigeria moved up 24 places on the World Bank's Ease of Doing Business rankings and earned a place on the list of top 10 reformers in the world. Today, 5.2 million primary school children in 28,249 schools in 19 states are receiving a free meal daily. Our customs service recorded its highest ever revenue collection of 1 trillion naira in a single year. Our foreign exchange reserves grew by $12 billion, reaching the highest level since 2014. We added $250 million to the Sovereign Wealth Fund and officially moved out of recession.
When you hear that sound, you know that Nigeria's most authentic newscast is about to begin. NTA Network News, breaking the news for over 40 years.
Welcome back. Globally, rape is a crime punishable by law. Having established this fact, there have been instances where victims of rape have been blamed for bringing a calamity upon themselves. Many victims of rape, particularly women, have reportedly claimed that they were accused of seducing their alleged rapists by their mode of dressing. Anna Daniels focuses on this line of public reasoning.
Indecent dressing is not the best. It's religiously bad, and it's morally bankrupt, and that is why you see a lot of girls being raped.
This is arguably the mindset of so many Nigerians who insist the victim of rape must share in the blame. In the last few years, mainstream media and even social media are not shy to report on rape cases. Even non-government organizations have been set up not only to speak out against the act, but to ensure that victims get justice and healing. Although these efforts are gaining popularity, some members of the public are of the opinion that rapists may have been tempted by their victims. Another group of respondents counter the notion that some victims of rape assault instigated these attacks.
Even why it's actually wrong for a lady to be indecently dressed. At the same time, that also gives such a man the liberty to go and rape a lady.
We have children at home as a man. If your daughter is not well dressed, do you rape her? No. So why should you rape another? I feel it's a mindset.
In all of these submissions, these respondents say rape has a spiritual undertone.
Only those who have spiritual problems would think of raping a woman. The demons that are inside him are the ones controlling him to do that.
Go and meet the pastor, we try and explain more to that.
Okay. With that submission, Nisland approached some spiritual leaders on their stance about this issue of incident as one of the causes of rape.
People that they are raping women, the devil is a dishonor to the woman. Not only dishonor to the woman, it might also affect her marriage. So from all ways you look at it, moral, social, in short, there's no other definition. It is bad.
I was moved to ask if religion provides a sort of redemption for serial rapists who mostly claim they can't contain themselves.
They really need deliverance. They really need deliverance.
Deliverance from what now? Moderation, modesty, meet the demands of shame. That is what we want. The woman also should try to wear good dress, not the dress that will attract man.
From my findings, the consensus is that there is no excuse for rape. However, the respondents were unanimous that the Nigerian culture teaches men to respect and protect women, while women must imbibe self-respect, which more or less reflects in their outward appearance. Becky, do you agree with them?
Yes, like the respondents stated, there is no excuse for rape. Having said that, modesty is an acceptable standard worldwide. Time for the last break. Stay on the line, we're not done yet.
Nigerians, Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
The Managing Director, Nestle Nigeria PLC, has stated that the company's commitment to grassroots sports development through the Milo Basketball Championship will continue. He said that this at the closing ceremonies of the 20th edition of the championship held in Lagos. Olumude Oguntola is our guide.
It was a carnival-like atmosphere as Nestle Nigeria PLC celebrated its 20th year of promoting grassroots sports development through the Milo Basketball Championship meant for secondary school students. In the keenly contested Milo final, Father O'Connell Science College, Mina, Niger State, emerged champions after defeating General Murtala Mohammed College, Yola, Adamawa State, 60-59 points.
By the hard work and God by our side, that's what made us to win this trophy.
In the female category, JJJ Girls Grammar School from Oyo State bowed to the superpowers of St. Jude Girls Grammar School, Amarata, Yenegua, Bayelsa State.
The basketball is all about team spirit, one mindset on the court. That's what it's all about. That's what it takes to win this championship at the first position.
The managing director of Nestle Nigeria PLC, Mauricio Alancon, said the company will not relent in producing future champions.
Look, the reality is we've been doing that for 20 years. We're extremely proud of what we have been able to achieve. I mean, if you look at these champions, they're really able to show the best that they can do. And for us to be able to do that during 20 years, it's pride. Pride of being able to make a difference in their lives, proud to teach them values that they learn through sports, and proud to talk about nutrition with them. So for us, the best part of it is to be able to make a difference throughout their lives.
Other stakeholders at the events lauded Nestle Nigeria PLC for their numerous achievements.
What we have done as Nestle over and over the years is to produce so many talents that become available both for local leagues and for international leagues.
Nestle Milo has really done well. They have come up big, and we're happy that the youth have embraced the game.
Trophies, cash prizes, gift items and awards were given to students and some personalities for their outstanding performances over the years. Performance of dancers and a popular musician added glamour to the event.
And this is where we close shop. Do join us again next week Sunday for yet another worthwhile edition of Newsline. In the meantime, Alibaba Seriously is coming next. Hello, stranger.
Hi, how are you?
You've been missing for 2 weeks. Where went you?
I went to do my checkup just like Mr. President. Oh, sorry. Okay, have a nice week.
From me, it's good night and God bless Nigeria.
Chief. Good morning, sir. You are here already?
No, now my spirit is there.
Dare to be different, drink to wellness. Drink Adonko bitters, Adonko bitters. Not just any bitters, but Adonko bitters. Drink Adonko bitters, I say Adonko bitters. The bitters with the mandate to promote well-being. Adonko bitters. Adonko Bitters.
Adonko alcoholic bitters made from herbal extracts for well-being. Drink responsibly.
Dare to be different. Drink to wellness. Drink Adonko Bitters. Adonko Bitters. Not just any bitters, but Adonko Bitters. Drink Adonko Bitters. I say Adonko Bitters. The bitters with the mandate to promote well-being. Adonko Bitters. Adonko Bitters.
Adonko alcoholic bitters made from herbal extracts for well-being. Drink responsibly.
Good evening and welcome. See that change in set. We're doing something different, and when the World Cup comes, we're also going to do another thing that will be different from what you'll be seeing on this show. For today, we are going to have a special edition, and the special edition is featuring the Mr. X family. The Mr. X family is a new baby from the RMD Productions, and we believe that we're going to have a very wonderful time. But before then, several things happened this week. One, Fela Drotoye celebrated his birthday. What happened this week?
You came back.
Okay, yes, I was in London, and then so the
book.
Yes, Omodi Oboli launched her book. Omodi Oboli launched her book. Mr. President came back. The IG refused to go to Senate. Senate said he should come. He refused to go to the Senate.
Club 57.
Who?
Club 57.
What happened to them?
Was raided.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes. Science students. No, it wasn't science students.
No.
It was Yahoo.
Yes.
Yahoo boys. The boys that are online. The boys that are online were raided, and several issues came up. But you know, on this show, I particularly would not have come back because I'm one of the MCs for the royal wedding in Bombeja. Okay, so yes, so I went to do my screening, and they gave me the script. I brought my script back. We have an after party. Ashebi is now being sold. We also have, but trust me, one thing you will not hear at the royal wedding is the owner of car 4621. Go and repark your car, and all protocols observed. We also will not hear. Please keep quiet. You guys keep it down so that we can continue with the show. All right, but tonight's show is really going to be, it's going to be worth the name special. It's a special edition, and I can bet that the cast of the Mr. X show, especially RMD, have not been in this studio for nearly 20 years. I can bet. But in any case, when he comes on, we will know. It's a bumper package. We have no time to waste. And back. I want to thank you. Hope you enjoyed the hosting of Senator. How did Senator do?
Yeah, very good. He did very
well.
Yes.
Okay. How did If I do? But Yes, from the people that have spoken to me, they said I should bring more ladies when I'm not around, like Chigo. They said Chigo was on a riot, man.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I wanted to take the show.
Okay, so all right, we'll be back after this break. Oh, by the way, my young comedian, Aproko, he won another 1 million naira. Yes, he's won 1.5 before, they won another 1 million naira. I will introduce him later. So yes, he's a double millionaire. I will be right back after this break.
And when I stepped in the place and I look like a star, say them but say I did do shaka fry. Enemies them I see me, they want to me jaga jaga. Oh I'm not moving, I'm adjusting my brother. Do you like what you see? No need to they jealous me. Papa God blessing me, I go lift up my voice and sing. When people see me, they ask me, say, what did they make me shine every day? Now Papa upgrade me, I elevate, I elevate, I elevate. Enemies surround me, them done dead. Them nothing touch me, covered by grace. Now Papa upgrade me, I celebrate. I thank you, cause you keep on blessing me. Keep on blessing me, keep on blessing me, keep on blessing me. Keep on blessing me, keep on blessing me. Thank you, cause you keep on blessing me. Keep on blessing me, 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 keep on blessing me. Thank you, cause you keep on blessing me. We don't want no drama, we don't want wahala. But if you try to jam me, you will jump palava. And if you try to harm me, you will never prosper. I say you will never prosper. They don't know the way and they don't know the how. Mama, you should know this by now. If you're feeling me, then you can sing it loud. Sing it loud. Will you lift up your voice and when people see me, they ask me, say, what did they make me shine every day? Now Papa upgrade me, I elevate, I elevate, I elevate. Enemies surround me, them done dead. Them nothing touch me, covered by grace. Now Papa upgrade me, I celebrate. I thank you, cause you keep on blessing me. Keep on blessing me, keep on blessing me, keep on blessing me, keep on blessing me, keep on blessing me. Thank you, cause you keep on blessing me. Keep on blessing me, keep on blessing me, keep on blessing me, keep on blessing me, keep on blessing me. Thank you, cause you keep on blessing me. Do you like what you see? No need to they jealous me. Papa God blessing me, I go lift up my voice and sing. And do you like what you see? No need to they jealous me. It's Papa God blessing me. Thank you, cause you keep on blessing me. Keep on blessing me, 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 keep on blessing me. Thank you, cause you keep on blessing me. Keep on blessing me, 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 keep on blessing me. Thank you, cause you keep on blessing me.
come back to Alibaba seriously. I was just sharing something. Okay, this is it. I went to Warri, and I was talking with one of those Warri boys. In fact, to be honest, he's a boy from Emebire. So those of you in Emebire, just know that I'm happy with you today. I gave the boy something about 2 months ago. So when I got to Warri this week, right, the guy was like, hey, bros, how far now? I said, I give you last week. He said, bros, why you dey fluctuate? You be fluctuation or no? Today you go current, tomorrow you know current. Which one you dey do like NEPA? Anyway, we need to paint our people right. Warri boys. Ladies and gentlemen, the man behind Mr. X, veteran actor, you know, for nearly 27 years, I've not been able to call his name directly. So Richard Mufedamijo, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good.
How do you do this today? People will speak a bit of the time. Oh, sorry. This is a little seriously.
Mr. X is a serious show.
Not for weird. You know the worry person, we must fluctuate. We must fluctuate. We do English more.
I saw one of your Fred Majemite.
Yes.
He was walking down Oxford Street. So I see him. I tell my wife, I say, I look at Fred Majemite in Compton. Can they hear me? Alibaba! Alibaba, come! Alibaba! I said, bros, keep your voice down. There's my restaurant! Alibaba, come! So one man when I was walking past said, he must really want to see it.
Yeah, that's how we roll. We fluctuate. You know? I like that. That's my takeaway. That's my takeaway.
So how are you?
I'm good.
How many years now to NTA?
Oh man, my last gig in this studio was Sparks.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was
the detective series.
Yeah, special protection anti-crime squad.
Our own CSI.
Yes. Our own Body and Doyle.
I mean.
With Dan Ladibako.
With Dan Ladibako.
We did some other things hanging around, but I think my last gig in this studio, I think that was what.
So you used to fill pink forms as well?
Oh, of course. You know, that's every you wait for them to like,
pile up.
So when you come in here and you cash like 3-4 pink forms.
You're good.
You're large. You're large for that whole month.
You step up to Abegi and let them know.
I used to have a car then. A stroke 8 Mercedes, the old type with the oblong face. You know my.
I know the car now.
I used to call her. She's a lady. Every time I feel the pink forms, the minute I drive outside of these gates, problem here. I say, okay, you don't start. I mean, you don't say, but you don't come. Yeah. I say, and you know when I don't have money, I talk to the car. He responds like, you know, the money not there now.
Behave yourself.
You know, the minute I cash the pink form, that's it. I would drive from here straight to Yaba to my mechanic, drop the car, give him money, and then like 2 days later I pick up the car. He would behave till
another pink form.
I used to do some work with Guardian and some other newspapers, and so I go to the Guardian too
but they don't have pink form. They just vouchers.
Yeah, I forgot what it was, but you know it was like 40.
Baby, now I go there. My baby, if you leave me, now I go there. Baby, now I go there. Yeah, only you go Aja. I never play for a fool. Aja. No be April fool. Aja. This is how I used to do. Aja. Only you go jump on the fool. Aja. No be April fool. Aja. Cassava for two. Aja. Baby, all for you. Aja. Oh my baby, forgive I not gonna do it again. Oh my baby, forgive I not gonna do it again. Baby, I don't get the excuse. I bought you to kung fu. You know, say me no be fine. She do me 1 by 2, yeah. On your alcohol. Now you my shaky all. My eye on the gun, I on the follow. Now she catching me. If you leave me, now I go there. See go baby, now I go there. My baby, if you leave me, now I go there. See go baby, now I go there. Yeah, only you go. I no go play for a fool, no be April fool, this is how I used to do, only you go chop my fool, no be April fool, cassava for two, baby not for you, I stay away from these girls, all of me for you. I'll go blind on sister. Got my eyes on you. Anything you want me to do, I'll do. Yeah, every girl I cross my hands for you. Yeah, yeah. And I'll go gaga for you. Oh, forget Diana for you. Anything you want me to do, I'll do. Yeah. I'll show my love for you. Yeah, my baby boo. And you should know, baby, you leave me. Now I go there. See, go, baby, now I go there. My baby, if you leave me, now I go there. Baby, now I go there. Yeah, only you go jump on the food, I no go play for a fool, no be April fool, this is how I used to do, only you go jump on the food, no be April fool, cassava for two, baby not for you, money oh my baby forgive, I don't go do it again, I don't go do it again, oh my baby forgive, I don't go do it again, I don't go do it again, master craft, take it, no, number one Africa.
Welcome back to Alibaba Seriously, and before I jump in, you know, Nina was mentioning that she has a book out, Disowned. It was launched sometime last month, and yeah, it's a beautiful read, and to think that this inspiration came from when you nearly missed your flight or you were waiting for a flight.
Well, we're snowing.
What is snowing now? Okay, snow trapped you.
Yes, so
why didn't you just say it?
The flights couldn't take off, so out of boredom, I started.
But there are no pictures inside.
No, like 276 pages. I should write a book on this book.
We have Ladan from Bauchi. I hope it's Ladan Sali.
Yeah.
Ladan.
Yes.
It's Ladan Sali. Yes, it's Ladan. That's Ladan's laugh.
Now you get your mouth. Ladan, no.
Ladan, I tell you, it's Ladan Sali.
Yes, Ladan Salihu. Ali Baba. Yeah. How Nadi?
We're very fine.
Nice to see.
Ladan, you know I served in Bauchi, right?
Oh, you did?
I did my youth service in Bauchi, Bakaro.
I am flamboyant and overcasted.
Yes. 83, 84. At the Council for Arts and Culture.
That's a veteran right there.
Mm-hmm.
This is very, very heartwarming to hear.
Yes, yes. I don't hear Bauchi without a smile, you know.
Yeah. RMD, you
yes,
make
sir.
me proud any day.
Thank you, thank you.
And you never mind about the mountain of criticism. They only sharpen your wits and take your experience to the next level.
Absolutely.
And you remain, you know, one of my most favorite senior citizens on the set and off the set.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You have carved a niche for yourself that no mountain of criticism or any, you know, of such negative tendencies will tarnish or taint your own credibility and creditworthiness any day.
Thank you.
I'm very proud, and it's good to hear that you are in Bakaro.
Hello, Daddy, how you doing? Hope Mama's doing okay. Been
4 years and 11 months now. Alone, it was true what you said to me. That life in the city is unbelievable. Had to struggle just to get by every day, and I could barely find my way. Ṣùgbọ́n mo mọ̀ pé mo lè ṣìnà. Ó dá mi lójú. Mo rí pé ayé lè ṣòro. Forgive me, Father, but I gotta take a chance. Oh, I'm already gone, so just pray for me. Forgive me, Father, but I gotta take a chance. Oh, I'm already gone, so just pray for me. Pray for me. Pray for me. La dura, I'm already gone, so just pray for me.
Fine girls won't come my way, but you're still the one I want to. So many girls they won't block my way, but you're still the one I need. Oh, and I'm so caught up, got me feeling it. Caught up, I don't know what to do. Got me losing my cool. Caught up, got me feeling it. I don't know what to do. I don't even mind over my loving you. Girl, I don't even mind, my baby, loving you. Them get the big back up and big low. They make me dress you to your face, oh. Them be feeling fly high for me, girl. Fool me, yeah. I never won't go my place, oh. I'm so caught up, got me feeling it, and I don't know what to do. Got me losing all my goals, yeah. Caught up, got me feeling it, and I don't know what to do. But I don't even mind, yeah, yeah. Loving you. But I don't even mind, loving you. One of my slave queen is a call away, a call away. I drove 1,000 miles to find you. I'm getting paper, being paid more away. And I'm ready to spend my paper. Girl, I'm so caught up, got me feeling it, caught up, losing control, got me twisted. I'm so caught up, got me feeling it, caught up, losing control, driving. Will you behave? When other girls misbehave? Will you love or hate? I love you. I'm so caught up. You got me feeling caught up. Losing control. I don't know what to do now. Caught up. You got me feeling caught up. I'm losing control. I don't even mind. Loving you. And I don't even mind. Loving you. Fresh don't even mind. Loving you. And we don't even mind. Collect your boo. Choo.
Something in my mind, I wanna talk about it. Feeling deep inside, cannot suppress it. This must be love. I'm not searching no more. I found the one for me, yeah. You are my destiny, you are my destiny. I want to be the one you seek in the morning, before you go to sleep at night. I just want to be the one you holding. I never want to see you cry. Girl, you know that I'll come running when you call from 1,000 miles, yeah. I said, see, what more can I say? I just wanna be there. I just wanna be the one you love. I just wanna be there. I just wanna be the one you lean on. I just wanna be there. Just like your shadow. I just wanna be there. From now until tomorrow, I just wanna be there. 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 Something in my mind, I wanna talk about it. Feeling deep inside, yeah. Cannot suppress it. This must be love. I'm not searching no more. I found the one for me, yeah. You are my destiny, you are my destiny. I know you must have heard a lot of stories about me, but with you, girl, there is no more lies. I was lost and like in a wilderness, but you brought me back to life. You answer all the puzzles in my heart, yeah. That's why I never want us to be apart, yeah. I just wanna be there. I just wanna be the one. I just wanna be there. I just wanna be the one you lean on. I just wanna be there. Just like your shadow. I just wanna be there. From now until tomorrow. Said I won't ever ever let you down. Don't know why I've been running away from love. I don't know why, yeah. You brought me peace of mind, and that's why I never wanna be apart. I just wanna be there.
Dreams are lofty, our future great. Yes, we can do what's right and walk in love's just ways. We are Nigerians. Let's rise and build. We are Nigerians. We are one people. God made us united in our diversity. We have one history. We have one destiny. We are Nigerians. Let's rise and build. We've had our bitter taste of hate and bitterness. We've danced in agony to drums of war. let's rise and build. We are Nigerians. We are one people. God made us united in our diversity. We have one history. We have one destiny. We are Nigerians. Let's rise and build.
We are Nigerians, though of many tribes, and each with a different tongue. We stand united in our resolve to build, to defend, and to honor our great nation. We are a great people, from the beautiful grasslands and savanna to our rich rainforest, in a land flowing with oil and gold. Hear the clatter of groundnuts, hear the whispering palms, see the towering cocoa trees. We are Nigerians.
This is the network service of the NTA.
If your sum total is a mustard seed, then nurture it, water it, grow it into that tree in your rainforest. We will be highlighting one of the prevalent social issues in our society. That we love and trust, and by people that are strangers. When was the last time you performed an act that was purely selfless, just because the person was Nigerian? Do you love her? By her, I mean Nigeria. Can you sacrifice yourself and everything that you hold dear for her? Do you defend her? Do you vouch for her? Are you patriotic? Are you loyal at your very core? Or do you let tribalism, sectionalism, nepotism eat into the very fabric of society? Welcome to Our Reality with Sky. On today's episode, we'll be highlighting a prevalent societal issue, patriotism, the lack thereof.
Here we are as a people with one heart for one cause. We're determined to rebuild and restore. Where freedom reigns and truth prevails. Our land where there's hope for us all.
Patriotism is the enthusiastic support for one's country. It is the ideology of attachment to one's native land or home country. There are myriad ways we show patriotism, not just by waving the flag, but a determined effort to sacrifice yourself for everything that celebrates your country and makes it stronger. Love for country and willingness to sacrifice for it so that it can be enhanced, so that it can see development, so that it can grow. In the bid to make it better and defend your country, you have to be loyal and love your motherland in all practicality. What do I mean when I say all this? I'm saying that Nigeria is a great country and that we should love it from deep down. We always point fingers at our leaders and the people at the helm of affairs. But what are you doing in your own little corner to say that your country is great and that you love her? When people talk down Nigeria, do you defend her or do you add on to what they have to say? Do you point fingers? What are you doing in your own cubicle, on your own level, in your own world, in your own sphere, to say that Nigeria is great and you plan to make it even greater? Now, it is not just about loving Nigeria. It is about all of us, young, old, educated, semi-educated, rich, poor, making a healthy, dynamic, positive, constructive contribution to the development of our nation. It is also about being passionate enough to comment on the issues that plague our country and require that policies be in place to change such issues. When one speaks on these issues, let it not be for yourself, to make yourself look good, or for your self-interest, or to promote your own association or your affiliation, but to make a resounding statement and a testament to the desire for the development of Nigeria as a nation. Until we solemnly vow to love this country, this nation, this land, our homeland, we will perpetually miss the mark. Until our creed, unity, faith, peace, progress, becomes not only our watchword, but our life's mission, we will forever miss the mark. Until we address that cab driver, Okada rider, okra seller, school teacher, manager, governor, and president as our fellow Nigerian and mean it, we will continually miss the mark. Until patriotism is encoded in our DNA, loyalty woven into the fabric of society, nationalism programmed into our psyche, we will doggedly miss the mark. Are we missing the mark on purpose, with intent? as we take advantage of that dual citizenship that Nigeria allows, as you gleefully claim the other nation and readily drop Nigeria? Are we schooling our youth on the pride of Nigeria in our veins? How our people are shattering records in academia, automation, science, and the arts? How ours is a land flowing with resources, human, mineral, agric, and natural. Gold in Zamfara, oil in rivers, cotton in Kano, coal in Enugu, timber in Sapele, iron in Ajaokuta, cocoa in Ibadan. Until we solemnly vow to love her faithfully, to defend her honor, to keep her safe for as long as we all, Generation X, Y, and Z, shall live, we will miss the mark. Say no to nepotism. Say no to tribalism. Say no to sectionalism. And yes to patriotism. Nationalism at our very core. And we shall not miss the mark. So favoritism, nepotism, sectionalism, and tribalism, these are all anti-patriotism. These are, and I will break them down as we go further, these are things that, you know, allow for you and your sect instead of the nation as a group. Now, favoritism is a practice of giving preferential treatment to one person or a group at the expense of another. It is partiality or disregarding merit. Nepotism is favoritism with the people who are relatives or family friends. So it means appointing relatives and family friends in one's organization to positions for which outsiders are better suited. Now we've talked about favoritism and nepotism. Let's move on to tribalism. As we know, there are several tribes in Nigeria. There's Ijaw, there's Ibibio, there's Tiv, there's Kanuri, there's Igbo, there's Hausa, there's Yoruba. There are about 250 tribes in Nigeria, and nothing is less than tragic that when a people so educated and enlightened allow tribalism into the marrow of our nation, where diversity should strengthen us. National culture has been replaced by tribalism and all those attitudes that derive from the strong, and the cases of this are very unhealthy for the loyalty in our nation.
Though we are many people, different tribes, different tongues, we're united in our strength and resolve to uphold the honor of our land and for generations to come.
So let me talk to you guys for a second. When I think about patriots, I think Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, I think Tafawa Balewa. I think about these people who were our founding fathers that did not allow creed, their faith, their religion, or their tribes interfere with the national good. They did what they had to do for the greater good of Nigeria as a nation. Now, that's what I mean when I talk patriotism. Our Reality with Sky put together an exciting story of contemporary patriotism. They talk about these three ladies who are Nigerian American, who realized that Nigeria did not have a bobsled team and decided that Nigeria deserved one. They ran around, got finances, and put together this team. Now they have made us proud. They have not only done this, but they have agreed to wave the flag and fly it high. Stay tuned as you enjoy this story.
The team, the country, relies solely on your ability as a driver to qualify. My goal is to get this team representation for this country and this continent at the Olympic Games. I'm a natural competitor. Anytime I step anywhere competitive, I want to win.
When she initially told me, I was like, oh, you're kind of crazy for doing this. I had to think about it for a bit.
I had never thought that I would participate in the sport of bobsled, but I always thought it was a super cool sport.
Africa's never been represented, man or woman, in the sport of bobsled at any games.
It's the first culture that any of us have ever known, and to bring that out with bobsled, something that's completely foreign to the nation of Nigeria, words can't even describe what that means, honestly.
We've all sacrificed our social life. I mean, that's just non-existent. We don't even really care about that anymore. We're like, yeah, we got each other. That's good enough.
This is what you're about to do.
The sport in itself is just an extremely expensive sport. To get to our final goal, we need at least, $150,000. In order for us to do this, we're going to cut off our cable, no new clothes. We're going to move to a place that's a little bit cheaper. For everything that gives me a battle, I try and combat it. I am determined to qualify. No matter what comes along the way on this path, I have to stay on it. It's been extremely rewarding that people that we have never met in our lives have just rallied together and really supported us.
We have support from around the world. We have people constantly donating from different countries, and it just shows the impact that we've had on bobsled, and we're so appreciative of it.
The crazy thing about it is most people don't really understand what bobsled is. Like, some people are like, this is bobsledge. Some people are like, they're creating all kinds of things, but they don't care. They just know that the flag is raising high and they're excited about it. We have a great time, but we're very serious about making sure that we're able to give this back to Nigeria.
In the Nigerian culture, to be able to do something different and be successful, it's pretty hard, so it holds a lot of weight.
Young girls looking up to us, you are the driving force in your life. If you believe in yourself, then the world is going to see it.
And we are a testament to that. We're three just simple girls. We dreamed big. It's not going to be easy, but we can really do this.
So hope you enjoyed that clip. Now these ladies are just a tip of the iceberg. We have other contemporary patriots. We have people who are shattering world records in soccer, in tennis, in the music industry, even in the movies. You know, we have patriotic Nigerians. All we're saying now is to add your little bit in your own sphere, in your world, in wherever you are. Do the little that you can to show this country great, to love the other fellow Nigerians in the everyday rat race. So remember, we're talking about things that are anti-nationalist, anti-patriotic, and we talked about tribalism, we talked about favoritism, we talked about nepotism, we talked about tribalism. Now I will handle sectionalism. This is loyalty to one's religion or section of the country rather than the whole of the country. Extreme regard for sectional or local interests, regional or local sections. Now we know when we talk about local sections, let's see that we know that Nigeria is divided into the 6 geopolitical zones: the South-South, the Southwest, the Southeast, the Northeast, the North Central. And you know, these, when people show loyalty to these zones rather than the nation as a country, it can be very unhealthy for the advancement and the development of the nation as a whole. So we cannot talk about patriotism without reference to our military personnel who have continued to sacrifice their lives to protect our national integrity and the integrity of our territory in these parts. You know, our nation is beloved by them, and they show it perpetually. They do not even hibernate their thoughts. They don't even have any regard for the seasons, whether it is rainy, in sunshine, in harmattan. They're out there protecting the nation. Now let us bear in mind, these people have individual families where they come from, and they disregard their personal interests and seek the interest of the nation when they go out to fight for our rights against the insurgents in the Northeast and other parts of the nation. Is an exemplary act of patriotism.
Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call, obey to serve our fatherland with love and strength and faith. The labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. To serve with heart and mind, one nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
So the point of the show today is to tell us that patriotism starts with you and it starts with I. If we deeply care for our nation, we will do whatever it takes to make it rise above and beyond. We will not only do that, but we will lend our voice to those things that would help correct the ills in society, those things that will strengthen us, those things that will build and enhance our growth as a nation. Please do not hesitate to be great and patriotic to this nation. This is our Nigeria where over 190 million people feature in their own independent films known as Their Lives, in subtitles of over 520 languages in the varying dialects of the 250 ethnic groups: Kanuri, Ibibio, Tiv, Ijaw, Hausa, Fulani, Igbo, Yoruba. We are all equal. We share the same native land, Nigeria. Our politics is one, liberty. Our culture, one, love. Our creed is the same, unity, faith, peace, progress. This right here is the 234 area code. This is home. We do not bid you goodbye. No need to say welcome. Just come as you are and partake. That's our show for today. From those of us here, we say thanks for watching our Reality with Sky. That we love and trust, and by people that are strangers.
Comot my hand from oil concrete.
General, what you gonna yarn? What did the yarn serve? I don't understand though.
Because they spoil our water and our environment. And they cause our people serious harm. Militants said, you know good. Me, I not do again Sam. Because why? Change begins with me.
General Tombu!
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency in conjunction with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
There is an epidemic affecting individuals in every community, regardless of age, economic status, gender, race, religion, or nationality. It is called domestic violence. It can take a number of forms, including physical, verbal, emotional, economic, religious, or sexual abuse. The ultimate aim of domestic violence is to gain and maintain total control over its victim. Domestic violence does not discriminate. It happens among people of all ages, ethnic background, and economic levels. While women are more commonly victimized, men are also abused, especially verbally and emotionally, although sometimes even physically as well. Unfortunately, domestic violence is among the most underreported crimes worldwide for both men and women. An abuser doesn't play fair. He or she uses fear, guilt, shame, and intimidation to wear down his or her victims and keep them perpetually under his or her control. Abusers may often seem wonderful and perfect initially, but gradually become more aggressive and controlling as the relationship continues. Here are some signs of abusive tendencies: showing jealousy of the victim's family and friends, accusing victim of cheating, controlling who the victim sees, where they go, or what they do, preventing the victim from making his or her own decision, intimidating the victim with guns, knives, or other weapons. Noticing and acknowledging the signs of an abusive relationship is the first step to ending it. Therefore, abusive behavior is never acceptable, whether it is coming from a man or a woman, a teenager or an older adult. We all deserve to be valued, respected, and safe.
There is something you like to see.
the sunshine, a fighter world.
Oh, hey, oh, oh. Oh, hey, oh. Oh, hey, oh,
Something you want to invest in, something you like to gain. Profit only in a place you can achieve your goals. Share the treasure of a good nation. Nigeria, my nation, my pride.
We formed the APC from day one with the intention of changing the direction of Nigeria. We believe Nigeria is an African power and can be a major powerhouse in world affairs. But to do that, we need to change our direction.
It can be done. This country cannot be written off. It can be done. And this country will still lead Africa. We're making steps, slow steps, moving on. I mean, it took the Americans 200 plus years to get where they are. We're moving.
Change does not just happen. You and I and all of us must appreciate that we all have our part to play if we want to bring change about. We must change our lawless habits, our attitude to public office and public trust. We must change our unruly behavior in schools, hospitals, marketplaces, motor parks, on the roads, in homes and offices. To bring about change, we must change ourselves by being law-abiding citizens.
Hello, you're very welcome to NTA International News. My name is Justin Bemunyi. On top of the news tonight, preparations in top gear ahead of President Muhammadu Buhari's visit to Jigawa State. More commendations for the ease of doing business reforms implemented by the federal government. And federal government reads Riot Act for contractors handling its infrastructure projects. Thank you for joining us. Ahead of President Buhari's visit to Jigawa, people of the state say it is an honor to receive the #1 citizen and pledge to support his second-term bid come 2019. Habibu Hussaini, who went round to say the state capital, reports that the atmosphere is quite peaceful and the people anxious to receive the president on Monday.
Is wearing a new outlook as political posters and solidarity billboards fill almost every part of the state, welcoming Mr. President to the new world. Almost every part of the state, not only Dusi, are in a welcome mood to receive President Muhammad Buhari. Jigawa is among the leading states in the country that support the agricultural policy of the federal government with the aim to diversify the nation's revenue sources. This is part of the reasons the president is visiting the state to commission some developmental projects and thank people of the state, farmers in particular, for accepting the federal government's agricultural change agenda. A cross-section of people interviewed described the president's visit as an honor to the state, assuring readiness to continue to support him to deliver more dividend of democracy to Nigerians.
Jigawa State, for the first time since he become Mr. President in the year 2015. So I'm happy, and I believe that most of the Jigawa States people are happy to receive or to welcome Mr. President to our dear state.
To the leadership of the ruling party in the state, the visit of President Buhari is a testimony of the good leadership in the state, stressing determination to support the Buhari's 2019 presidential bid.
First time in this country that our export supersedes our importation. This is one of the greatest achievements by Mr. President, and
strides of President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration in sports sector. DJ 7 and Angelina on 0805-465-3056. Nigeria Sports Book of Records, a celebration of great sports heroes and heroines.
NTA International News. Africa as it is.
You're welcome back. Conventional and social media, as well as poor parental upbringing, have been identified among the major drivers of moral decadence in Nigerian youth. Director General NTA Yakubu Ibn Muhammad and other speakers at the 9th Ramadan NTA Network Center Jos unanimously pointed out this fact. Abdul Wahab Babakanti reports.
With the theme Moral Degeneration Among Youth, Islamic Solution gathered personalities from all walks of life to discuss and proffer solutions to the menace of youth restiveness and immorality currently facing the society. The Director General of NTA, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, challenged parents to take up the responsibility of their children's upbringing with all seriousness so that they can be both patriotic citizens and good Muslims. He commended the NTA Jos Network Center for sustaining the program over the years.
This menace is well documented in the northern part of this country. And it is not only about the ones, but unfortunately even among married women in the northern part of this country.
Zonal Director, NTA Network Center Jos, Nuruddin Additional Idris, appealed to Muslims to utilize the period of Ramadan to reorient the minds of the younger ones to avoid wasting their opportunity and talent. Speakers at the event expressed the need for the youth of Nigeria to abstain from social vices, misuse of social media, and drug abuse, which are endangering their lives.
The Ummah today is being challenged from its angle. When the religious leaders are to face the challenges and fight for the cause of the Ummah, they are busy fighting among themselves.
Chairman of the occasion, Nasir Abdul Mui of Juhis, emphasized the need for Islamic scholars to focus this year's Ramadan tafsir on guiding Muslims and their families on the proper teachings of Islam. Chairman of NTA Jos 2018 Annual Ramadan Lecture, Sani Ibn Salihu, appreciated individuals and organizations that supported this year's lecture and promised to sustain the tempo. In Jos, Abdullah Babankanti, NTA News.
In the meantime, Muslim faithful have again been reminded that the period of Ramadan is a time for spiritual rejuvenation. This was at the 8th annual pre-Ramadan lecture organized by NTA Benin and the State Chapter of Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs in Benin City. Ado Weji Ojegba reports that the theme of this year's lecture is the month with the Night of Majesty.
Scholar Harun Umar, who delivered a lecture on preparation for Ramadan, also spoke on meaning and virtues of Ramadan.
It's a time to rest the night, generally speaking, a time for tahajjud, a time to make dua and askar. If you do it while others are sleeping, you ease your entrance into Al-Jannah. May Allah make this easy for us.
The Senior Special Assistant to the Edo State Governor, Alhaji Sahabi Umar, and the Zonal Director, NTA Benin Network Center, Pauline Igbano, both expressed satisfaction at the large turnout of faithful and described it as an indication of their commitment to the 5 pillars of Islam. They urged all to continue to support the scholarly work of Islam in order to continue to propagate peaceful coexistence.
5 pillars of Islam, and we have learned that purity is paramount.
Royal fathers present at the lecture urged Muslims to take home the lessons learned and pray that the spirit of Ramadan rewards all.
And we wish them to be committed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to involve the state government in serious prayers.
Some of the faithful said the lecture afforded the opportunity to further understand Ramadan as one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Muslim faithful are expected to commence fasting as soon as the Islamic Council of Nigeria announces the sighting of moon. In Benin, Alubaji Ojegba, NTA News.
Time now to do a summary of happenings the last 6 days on the global scene by Obagali Okoke.
Hello there, and thanks for joining us on The World in 6 days. The 6th ordinary session of the 4th Pan-African Parliament opened Monday in South Africa. The session on the theme, Winning the Fight Against Corruption, a Sustainable Path to Africa's Transformation. Pan-African Parliament charged the member states to ratify the Malabo Protocol.
As we go back home, we must ensure that our countries ratify this free trade area because it is the biggest panacea to our fast integration.
It's been a laudable continent in terms of progress, in terms of backwardness.
The role of Parliament in realizing health and achieving health targets for Africa was among other issues discussed at the session. Meanwhile, Cameroonian Rogan Nkodo Dang, who represents the Central African region, was re-elected as the president of the Parliament during polling Thursday. He contested with 2 other candidates representing North and South Africa. And away from that, a batch of 218 Nigerians, including 7 pregnant women, Tuesday voluntarily returned from Libya, where they had been stranded en route to Europe. The Southwest Zonal Coordinator of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Yakubu Suleiman, assured the returnees that the Nigerian government is pursuing socio-economic programs aimed at giving employable opportunities to the youths. He said the government has identified efforts at curbing the menace of corruption that has bedeviled the country and denied Nigerians the opportunity to put their best towards its development. The returnees were advised to be champions of change in sensitizing the youths against the urge of seeking greener pastures through migration. In Kenya, a dam burst on Wednesday night after heavy rain caused huge destruction and killed at least 40 people. Police say the breach happened on farmland near the town of Solai, 190 kilometers northwest of the capital, Nairobi. The dead include children and women trapped in mud. The Kenya Red Cross says it has rescued some 40 people. More than 2,000 people are said to have been left homeless. Away from Africa, Mahathir Mohamad officially became Malaysia's Prime Minister a day after his desperate coalition ended the ruling coalition's 61-year grip on power in the Southeast Asian nation. The monarch held a swearing-in ceremony for the 92-year-old Mahathir Thursday evening in Kuala Lumpur. Mahathir has pledged to scrap the GST within his first 100 days in office and reintroduce fuel subsidies. Mahathir's coalition expecting to serve as interim prime minister until long-time opposition leader Anwar Ibrahim was released from prison. Anwar have secured a royal pardon. And U.S. President Donald Trump Tuesday pulled out of Iran deal. President Trump says he will withdraw the U.S. from an Obama-era nuclear agreement with Iran. Going against advice from European allies, he said he would reimpose economic sanctions that were waived when the deal was signed in 2015. In response, Iran said it is preparing to restart uranium enrichment, which is considered a key for making both nuclear energy and weapons. And that's it from the Saint. Do stay tuned for the rest of the news.
And now talking sports, Heartland FC relegation woe continues in the Nigeria Professional Football League as the 2017-2018 Football League ends in England. Details of these and more with Chokunon Suwabweze on our sports update.
Junior Lokosa scored in the 9th and 49th minutes to inspire Kano Pillars to a 3-1 home win over Katsina United in one of the Week 21 matches decided on Sunday in the Nigeria Professional Football League.
Quite easy looking to penetrate from the left. This man makes it through. Look at that! Kano Pillars go up 1 goal at the Sani Abacha Stadium. It was a dramatic moment, I tell you.
In some selected results, defending champions Plateau United recorded a 2-1 home victory against Nasarawa United. Heartland FC's relegation woe was compounded after losing 2-1 against Sunshine Stars, while Abia Warriors secured a vital away win against MFM FC. And the 2017-2018 English Premier League football season ended this Sunday with Arsene Wenger capping his 22-year coaching career at Arsenal with a 1-0 away win against Huddersfield Town. Nigerian international Kelechi Iheanacho was on the score sheet in Leicester City's 4-5 loss to Tottenham Hotspur, a 9-goal thriller at the Wembley Stadium. Jose Perez scored twice for Newcastle United in their 3-0 demolition of Chelsea. In other results, the man of the moment, Mohamed Salah, scored his 32nd goal of the season in Liverpool's 4-0 home victory over Brighton, while Gabriel Jesus' late strike against Southampton at the St. Mary's earned a 100-point milestone for the newly crowned EPL champions, Manchester City. Manchester United also secured a 1-0 home win against Watford. Meanwhile, Liverpool forward and Egyptian international Mohamed Salah on Sunday added the Premier League Player of the Season to his PFA Player of the Year and Football Writers Association Football of the Year awards. The 25-year-old scored a record-breaking 32 goals in 38 league matches in his first season since signing from AS Roma. Salah, who had an uneventful stay at Chelsea between 2014 and 2016, has scored 44 goals in 51 games in all competitions for Liverpool, and with a chance of extending the tally when Liverpool faces Real Madrid in the UEFA Champions League final in Kiev on May the 26th. In tennis, Petra Kvitova Saturday became the first woman in history to win the Madrid Open 3 times after outclassing her Dutch opponent Kiki Bertens 7-6, 4-6, 6-3 in 2 hours 52 minutes. The world number 10, who also won last week in Prague, was made to work hard by the world number 20 before winning her 24th WTA title, extending her winning streak to 11 matches. Chukunon Somabweze, NTA News.
We now take a quick check for Monday's weather prospect in Nigeria and some world cities. with weather forecast, we end the news on NTA International. Thank you very much for always being there. I'm Justin Bemuni.
Their art of blacksmithing, which dates back to the 6th century BC. These Nigerian metal workers developed a technology that gave them the upper hand in life and would prove to be a technology to revolutionize the world and make iron working, maize farming, hunting, and war much more efficient. The evidence linking iron smelting in Nigeria to the Nok culture is a very strong one. The techniques of iron working are precise and more likely to have spread from one source. Iron does not occur in nuggets. It has to be smelted by heating the one to a high temperature in an enclosed furnace, blasting it through enforced drought. Archaeological evidence suggests that knowledge of how to work iron existed in Diama in the Lake Chad region in the 5th century AD, but was known in the area of the Nok culture in the Niger Valley much earlier in the 3rd century AD. Although it cannot be presumed that the technology of iron spread to different parts of Nigeria only from Nok, but the chances that Nok was the most important single source of the diffusion within Nigeria cannot be overemphasized. The West African blacksmith mastered a tool that is still in use today. Iron has been a part of everyday life ever since. The intricate designs and master craftsmanship of the African blacksmith was truly unmatched in its time. Everything they created was done with a purpose in society. From the plows used for digging and turning over soil, and the hoes used for breaking up soil and removing weed, to the weaponry for hunting and protection, the African blacksmiths were the key to survival for the Nok, Ife, Oyo, and the Mande people, to mention just a few. The equipment used in blacksmithing include the following: Ewere, otherwise known as belus, a piece of equipment for blowing air into or through something. Belus are used to make fire burn better. Dagi, otherwise known as F. This is the floor at the bottom of the fireplace. Ogun is a specialized stone where hot metals or iron are placed and beaten with a hammer to fashion them into shape. Unlike ordinary stones, they don't get destroyed and are used over a long period of time. Iyawu, big hammer, is a big iron used to beat hot metal, while Omowu is a smaller version. Akomole is nailed into the ground and metals are placed on it and beaten. Emu is a plier. It is used to pick and hold hot metal or iron right from the furnace. On its part, Iwano is used to gather or spread the coal. It is noteworthy that all hope is not lost, however, as there are people who are fortunate and have taken up the challenge of bringing modernity into the art of blacksmithing. In this workshop, there is enormous hope in the future of blacksmithing if it is properly and adequately invested in.
Make what we call sugar bending. Sugar in terms of metal dust. You continue like this.
Despite their challenge,
This is the network service of the NTA.
It's always a pleasure to have you join us on Weekend Deal, Africa's biggest deal. Now let's begin this way by looking at a very critical issue that has lingered for a very long time in our society, and it has become very rampant. I'm talking about domestic violence. And today on the deal, we take a stand against domestic violence because we hear a lot of stories, you know, it's a very serious issue. You hear how women are being battered, some even die in the process. And you ask, what is the essence of togetherness? Now, behavioral scientists has posed domestic violence to be, you know, failure of partners to exercise discretion when you're talking tolerance and patience. But is it all about that? Well, we're not the experts. We'll be having an expert come talk to us on ways we can put a stop to this menace.
Yeah, also on the deal this morning. Now we're going to be taking you through our regular segments with quite beautiful features to spice your morning. Have you actually taken a look at how women look when they go on low cut? What is your take on it? Some people say that is when the real beauty comes out. In the studio here, I know Ruth is not carrying on the low cut, but she is still beautiful. But what is your take on that? We'll be having that feature this morning. Also, as we count down to Russia 2018, the preparation towards the World Cup is high. Most countries have started naming their squads and all of that. What is the preparation? What's the take of Nigeria on this? And several other sports highlights will be your package this morning on Weekend Deal. My name is Paxmon Mbebe.
And my name is Ruth Aguele. Thank you for staying with us. It's Weekend Deal. Now, we know that in Nigeria, our music industry is blessed with talented artists. Now, for the women, you have to prove yourself. You have to do so much, you know, for you to have an edge. And I know someone who has proven herself. You know, she has a strong voice, using it to impact lives positively. She's very vibrant, she's bold, and she's beautiful. I'm talking about Waje. She's on Star Splash today.
You give me this superhuman feeling when I talk together. You give me this supernatural.
But you left me for bad. But you left me for good. Yeah. Oh, since you're gone, yes, I'm doing fine.
Aitwaje Aina Vivian Ebele Irobe, known as Waje, an acronym for Words Aren't Just Enough, was born on 1st September 1980 in Akure, Ondo State, southwest Nigeria, an indigene of Edo State, first child and first daughter in a family. A hip-hop singer whose vocal range covers 3 octaves.
Oh, I wish that I didn't have a heart. Now only stone filled deep inside. I didn't have a heart. I wish I didn't have such a naked, breaking heart. And when it comes to love, the sin I need, I realize. So you don't love, and I don't love. So tell me who they love when nobody wants to show.
She attended Word of Faith group of schools and joined the choir as a young singer. She once sang gospel tunes to the delight of the late Archbishop Benson Idahosa. Impressed by her singing talent, decided to assist with her education through secondary school.
I didn't have a heart, yeah. Oh, I wish that I didn't have a heart. Now only stone filled deep inside. I didn't have a heart.
She received a degree in social work from University of Nigeria, Nsukka. While in school, Wade also focused on musical work such as school concerts and took mentorship from great artists such as Whitney Houston and Aretha Franklin to improve her musical skills. Wade officially launched her music career in 2007 while still in school, and through it was able to pay her dues by doing lots of free shows and gigs, singing at every given opportunity.
Even if you cost me trouble, I won't let it get to me. I won't let it get to me. Even if I fall or stumble, even if you cost me trouble, I won't let it get to me. I won't let it get to me. I'm so inspired.
Her first major spotlight was in 2008, where she featured in P-Square's hit track titled Do Me. Wade also shared stage with various international artists such as Wyclef Jean in South Africa and M.I. Densia. Wade released her self-titled debut studio album in 2013.
My body that's with me, the love where you give me that make me color. Boy, make this promise, you never leave me. The love where you give me that silver.
Wade has received several nominations and awards. She also made an acting debut in 2014 on the movie called Tunnel, which starred Femi Jacobs, Patrick Doyle, Nseikpe Etim, Lekpashis Bosse, and so on. A single mother who has risen above her challenges, Wade has worked and continues to work with youths of her community through an organization known as Wade Safe House, where she teams up with other NGOs quarterly to help fight their cause.
Now be you talk, say this one go be for life. Say you will never lie, and you'll always be mine. Now be you talk, say this love go never die. Say, and you will always try. Let you go.
Great creativity there. Do you actually know why I like this this lady?
Why?
Just her voice, quite calm, gentle, and all of that. And it reminds me of the late Whitney Houston.
Yes, and that's one of her, mentors actually. And Wade for me is one woman I admire because she's like an inspiration. She is an inspiration, not like she is an inspiration to a lot of women out there. She has proven herself, and she continues to prove herself. She has shown that you can rise above any challenge at all, and we celebrate you, Wade. Well done.
Great creativity there in the music industry, and let's look at another aspect of creativity, this time in the writing skills, and let's look at book talk with Merchant of Trouble. Enjoy it.
The beauty of any society lies in its diversity and multicultural nature of its people. More importantly is the ability to combine its various complexities into a solid entity that marks it out for envy by the world at large. These facts aptly describe the plot of the book Merchants of Trouble, written by Olatunbosun Taufik, a young lecturer with strong passion for literary works.
Concerning my writing, actually, my late mother, actually contributed so much because she took her time up to educate me, tell me more stories about the family, about a lot of things that do happen in their time, and a lot of things that I think that normally as a child you are not even expected to know. But she saw it necessarily to tell me some of those things, and from there I was able to pick up some of those stories, and I started working with them, and gradually I now started reading more, reading different aspects of literature. From there I now started looking forth that what exactly can I do for a living? What do I do as a career?
Written as a satirical piece, the book x-rays some of the ills of a typical society with emphasis laid on factors that divide a people rather than unify them.
The problem of religion, and religion has been an endemic one, and sometimes it's quite lamentable for you to know that we are religious even than the Pope itself, we are godlier than God himself, and however we are even satanic than Satan himself. So what's the whole essence of religion? Religion without sanctity, religion without purity, religion without forthrightness, religion without uprightness, religion without perpendicularity. So what kind of religion do we call that?
This 108-paged book, divided into 3 major acts, also addresses the need for the present young generation of people to strive harder and lay down legacies worthy of emulation even for generations yet unborn, rather than being carried away by worldly desires to acquire quick wealth by any means. The author also speaks on his choice of drama format in writing the book.
I decided to go for drama because over the years, starting from the classical time, even up till this contemporary time, most of the works that usually stand the test of time over many years, spanning 200 to 300 years, they are mostly written in form of drama. That is why I decided that, okay, fine, I'm going to take for drama. I'm not just writing because I want to make money, but I want to write because of posterity. I want to write because I want to keep history.
Some young readers also lend their voices on the issues raised in the book.
It's a book that every young Nigerian should read because it talks about the ills of our society, the political matters and all issues that we have, and the youthful exuberance about the young adults we have in our country. So if people get to read this book, they get to understand how to react to political matters and how to improve ourselves as a people, and how to make sure that we do things right and make the nation move forward.
It's a very timely book. It talks about youthful exuberance, whereby youth emphasize on how to get rich quick, which is not supposed to be so. They're supposed to lay a good foundation for the people behind them to learn from.
And it actually emphasized the fact that we should not allow religion to cause division among us in this nation, that we should rather embrace things that will unite us as a nation, that will bring about the development and the growth of a nation as a whole, that should lay less emphasis on religion, but we should embrace things that actually unite us better.
The book Merchants of Trouble is an eye-opener to the reality of challenges facing any complex society, with the solutions preferred in it hopefully going a long way in ameliorating such challenges.
Great read there, Merchants of Trouble. That's a metaphor and one issue I know a lot of us will have to delve into if we just open that book and read it. And writers will continue to tell those stories, which is a reflection of society, and it's up to us, you know, to take out what we can take out from these books. And I know something that some writers have also talked about. I'm talking about domestic violence. It's always reflected in their books. But in our society, it is a reality, it's not fiction, and you cannot imagine the psychological, emotionally, you know, trauma, you know, these victims go through. Now, statistics in 2016 reveals that in Nigeria alone, 1/3 of every woman have experienced one form of, you know, abuse or the other. We'll take a background there. We have a guest already seated in the studio. Then we talk.
People disagree on issues, and this can result in temporary separation. Separation can be physical, emotional, and or social. But because a good number of people know that we agree to disagree and vice versa, the separation ought not to be permanent, and oftentimes it is not. But in these days, violence creeps into disagreements in the home, within a family unit, oftentimes, to the extent that what should be an exercise in freedom of speech, sentiment, and action can result in a permanent separation and bring about physical and mental hurt and devastation. And sometimes fatalities occur. Victims are not restricted to one gender. It goes both ways. Women attack men, and the men can also go on a rampage. There are many reasons to ponder on these escalating causes of violence, especially as it can negatively impact those within and outside a violent environment. What propels a couple who once pronounced their love from the rooftops to deteriorate to the level of violence?
Right here on NTA Network. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
I would like to welcome you back from that break. We Can Deal is still continuing here, and the show is going on with quite very wonderful things which is happy here for you this morning. Anyway, let's quickly look at how this will go. What is your take on women going on low cords? How do they look to you? Beautiful? Let's watch this feature on women with low cords.
Contrasts, an experience you won't forget.
Boil it. These are the leaves. You just cut the leaves, a handful. You boil it in a cup and drink morning and evening.
It's mainly used to clean the system, and it's good for fever.
Ebitie, as the robots call lemongrass, is used in the preparation of some local delicacies like banga and pepper soup.
Without lemongrass, pepper soup not complete. So now they use it, they cook my pepper soup.
Lemongrass is rich in vitamin A like carrots, grape, mango, watermelon, spinach, tomatoes, amongst others.
It's particularly high in vitamin C. Then it also has a lot of antioxidants, especially flavonoids and phenol.
When you feel cold, you get fever. You go when you pack those leaves for malaria. You want to cook agbo, we cut and journal. So many other things there where they take the journal, that one go journal. When you cook and go the scent, When you take a bath, go drink for inside.
It has a reputation for curing many diseases, and recent studies has shown that it has the capacity of curing cancerous cells in the human body. Consumption of lemongrass has no stipulated dosage, but it should not be taken by pregnant women and nursing mothers. Take lemongrass today and watch your health improve.
Yes, that's lemongrass there. I think I really like this that plant, particularly because of that smell that comes out of it, and I understand it does very, very wonderful, in trying to maybe checkmate quite a number of things within our systems.
You know the truth, I've never made use of it. I don't even know the nutritional benefits, but I just learned. And I know there are a lot of people like me out there who just learned something, right?
That's because maybe you didn't grow from the same kind of environment I grew up
in Kano. Anyway,
that was a feature on lemongrass. Let's quickly now go to Abriba. I'm sure this is striking you. Let's see the Abriba people and the Abriba culture.
Abriba, the little town of Igbo extract, located in the northern region of Abia State, Nigeria, is well known as the Small London, chiefly because of its architectural edifice and environmental aesthetics, resulting mostly from their communal efforts. These unique people are popular for their tenacious hold on their traditions and culture. One of such is the age grade system. Very importantly, they take it wherever they go. Recently, a display of some of the culture was made right here in Abuja as part of a civic reception of their Communal Improvement Union leader, Dr. Ekawai.
I will do everything I can that there is peace in Abriba. Because once you have peace, then you can have progress. How do I harness all the resources that we have? How do I leverage on the resources? The human resources. How do I bring them together? The women, the men, the boys and the girls. Make sure that everybody contributes in the development of Abriba.
Of obvious significance is the ark built out of the plain judge. It is called the Ulomang, which means the spiritual house. It symbolizes the covenant between the people of Abriba and their land to always come back and develop it.
Calling for a bank statement and you want a statement? Who are you? You need to quote the section of the law. Section 47, 48, 49. Says I can demand for the income of any individual or enterprise, because that's what we deal with. FRS deal with limited liability company. Now, by the time they got my language, that's how we are flowing now. When you see their letters, they are telling you section this, subsection this. That's our language, because taxation is law. If you are chartered in taxation like I am, you will take what is called taxation law. And so some of the lawyers, when we are arguing over things, I just laugh. They are general. You need to go and specialize in taxation before you can talk with me. Because I know taxation law. And without looking at the table of content, I can tell you this is where that belongs. It's like a Bible. That's why I say I love it. I love taxation. You don't need to spell it out. It's all clear. But I'm wondering, for a job like that, a lot of people think it's masculine. I can't think myself being in your shoes. Is it war? I'm telling you, there's a Bible. It's only quotation. The moment you quote, you have power more than the man. Really? You don't need to carry canoe. The only way is that when you tap the law and they don't listen, there's also the law, like the banks. Recently, we shut down so many banks. You also hear that I took the IG to court. Have you heard that? Yes, I did. Okay. So the Inspector General of Police and I were fighting in court. Not for anything. The Inspector General of Police has the best intentions. So when he gave a directive, a blanket directive, said remove all roadblocks, we were hailing him. You know why? Because there are some criminals, miscreants, even in Benue State. Not only in Benue State, in the whole 36 states. People just wake up from their house and you see them print BRS receipts and they put revenue on it without authority. Nobody has engaged you as an agent to collect. And then what they do is they put wood on the road, they block the road and with nails and start collecting revenue. Now, that kind of practice is not allowed because revenues are supposed to be collected at the place, in the marketplace. They are supposed to be collected at the place of loading and offloading and at the motor park. But tax evasion is criminal. If you go into any state and you do not pay the taxes and levies enshrined by that state to be collectible, then you are evading tax. Now, how do we check tax evasion? In Benue State law, the exit point out of the Benue State have what is called inspection point. And there are 10 inspection points out of Benue. Why did we do that? We are an agricultural state and our law is geared towards taxing agricultural product because each state makes law in line with their strength. We made ours. You have things like produce tax, produce merchant, haulage, and that. Now, the law is such that if you go and you are loading in, for example, Elizabeth's father's farm, okay, there's nowhere the tax authority will say, out of the 23 local government, this is where you drove to, okay? But what they can do is to put what is called inspection point. So that's why to exit or to come in, BRS have inspection points some meters away from the road. And what is their job? You have gone into the market, you've bought produce, you've bought orange, you bought yam, you have to pay produce tax, isn't it? Now, their job is, there's a billboard, you are approaching BRS inspection point, slow down to show your receipts. They are checking to know who paid and who didn't pay.
Okay, not that they're going to collect money there.
If you did not pay, we don't allow you to go with Benue money. You will pay there.
That's when you will pay.
That's when you pay. But not that they will keep block. Now, when these police people came, you know, when IG send them, their papa don't send now, they will do plus the one where papa no send them. So they burnt down those inspections. The billboards had hotlines. What were the hotlines for? In case somebody wants to take advantage of you for inquiries, or you want to know, haulage is 1,000. But you know those agents can ask you to pay 10,000. But the moment you call any of those 5 hotlines, it works 24/7. The officers who handle it, they shift morning, afternoon, night, so that whenever you call, we'll pick it and we'll swing into action. But all that was destroyed. All the places we did for them to rest when rain is falling, all were destroyed in the name of. Yeah, so I had written to the IG. I didn't get any response. And so I went to the court, to the High Court, and said, please interpret this law.
Now, I want to share your experience quickly on the headlongs you had to meet, you know, with the POS you started in Benue State. I'm sure people had to resist it. What was the challenge? What was the fight like for you? Quickly.
So when we started, a lot of them were trying to be funny. And they kept saying, look, Governor, the POS is not working. We are tied down, our ministries. There's no diesel, there's no water because the BRS chair has taken all the money and is not giving us back 75%. I was dragged so many times to the House of Assembly only to discover that these people were getting their money because it's a software. There's no physical manipulation. The moment you have rolled it, the moment money hits that platform, 75% you get a lot immediately.
Instantly.
Because we use NIPS to transfer, we use Pay Direct, InterSwitch, so that you don't, if one platform is down, the other platform begins to work.
Definitely.
So there was a day, it's funny, one of the committees in the House of Assembly called me and said, look, we went for oversight function and these people are down because you take money from them and you don't give back the percentage. And I said, which of the ministries? And he called the name. I said, okay, let's do conferencing. And then was on the other side. I said, have you gotten your 75%? Say, madam, the thing, they work like magic. Say, are you sure? Say, yes. Kidding. Say, even now, I just got a lot for the one we paid. And the third party was there listening to our conversation. But why are you saying that my body is not remitting? Do you want to spoil my job? You are saying the POSC said no.
It's recorded by the Buhari-led administration in supporting entrepreneurship and provision of jobs to the teeming youths. In Kaduna, Abdullah Mohammed, NTA News.
Federal government has reiterated commitment towards ensuring completion of all ongoing housing projects in the country. Minister of State 1 for Power Works and Housing Mustafa Baba Shehuri stated this as he visited construction sites in Maiduguri, Borno State. Muhammad Hamza Sheikh has more.
The teeming problems of insurgency and scarcity of water in Aunok village, where the National Housing Program is sited in Borno State, are some of the issues said to be delaying the project. The project, which started about a year ago, is not more than 50% completed.
They did not specifically because we are not owing them. If we are owing them, they can give reason, that is why. But we pay them. At the moment, if you check record, everybody is paid.
Some of the beneficiaries of the ongoing project said the project is helping them recover from the destruction of insurgency. Mustafa Baba Shehuri promised that government will look into the challenges with a view to solving them.
You need to double up if there are problems. The problem of water that you mentioned, immediately I go back to Abuja, I will make sure that at least a borehole will be provided here, and on the problem of the security problem you have just mentioned, I will also write to the relevant security agencies to at least provide security, at least provide enabling environment for you and the contractors to come and finish your work.
The minister was also at the Mole 330/132 kVA substation in Maiduguri, where work has reached more than 90%. Muhammad Hamza Sheikh, NTA News.
The federal government says it will no longer entertain any flimsy excuse for delaying service delivery by contractors handling its infrastructure projects. The Minister of State 1 for Power Works and Housing, Mustafa Baba Shehuri, gave the warning while on an inspection to our federal projects under the ministry in the Northeast Zone. Works and Housing correspondent Muhammad Hamza Sheikh again reports.
For years, those plying the Gombe, Numan and Numan Jalingo roads have been going through nasty experiences due to the terrible nature of the roads. Vehicle breakdown, increased travel time, and reduced socio-economic activities are some of the problems being faced by travelers along those routes. Committed to changing the situation for the better, the Buhari administration pumped in a lot of money into infrastructure development to make life easier for the people. These roads are some of the roads that benefited from the government gesture in the Northeast sub-region, but could not get equal attention from contractors handling them.
For a job that has been awarded since July last year, I think you have a lot of work to do. What we need from you now is an explanation of what strategies you are putting in place to ensure that this job is delivered on time.
It's a 46-kilometer contract, and they have not done a kilometer yet. It's 46-kilometer contract, and you see how people are suffering on this road. But in some places, it's 12 months a year that is raining and people walk. So it is not an excuse.
The minister said the present administration will not condone any unnecessary delays in the execution of its projects, as it is eager to deliver to the people. Muhammad Hamza Sheikh, NTA News.
The Abeokuta Railway main station under the ongoing rail project of the federal government has been relocated to the Moshood Abiola International Trade Fair Complex, Okemosan, along Kobakbe Road, Abeokuta. This is contrary to the initial location around Workers' Estate Landering, where about 1,000 houses have been penciled down for demolition with the payment of about 2.8 billion naira as compensation. The Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, and the Ogun State Governor, Senator Ibikunle Amosun, jointly arrived at this decision to relocate the railway station, where the minister came on an inspection visit to the site. Mohammed Adebowale reports.
There had been controversy in the past over the location of the Abeokuta train station, as the federal government said the 2.8 billion naira compensation initially agreed to be paid to owners of property marked for demolition was no longer feasible. The minister is, however, optimistic that with the decision to relocate the train station, contractors will be directed appropriately, assuring that the December 2018 deadline will be met.
Because we are going to take it out by 1,000 houses. I'm sure when the governor saw it, he was fighting. Now he agrees with me that we can locate it at the MK Abiola. Now this is where the station will be. If they can find a engineering solution, and they say they can have to find a engineering solution so we can locate it. And what we've done is that, we are building a station, a hotel, and a mall.
The minister added that few houses will still be demolished for right of way. Meanwhile, Governor Ibikunle Amosun has assured that the Moshood Abiola International Trade Fair Complex will be relocated to a befitting site.
Good news is this: yes, we are relocating this. We are going to put it in another place. But this place now, in order to avoid demolishing almost 2,000 houses, imagine the number of families, the number of people that will be affected. So we have taken that decision that no, they will have to come and create some engineering solution here.
In Abeokuta, Mohammed Adebowale, NTA News.
Federal government is to introduce a new program called Agriculture Implement and Mechanization Scheme, which will enable smallholder farmers have access to heavy-duty equipment to boost their agricultural activities. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Audogbe, who disclosed this in Abuja, said the new program will substitute Growth Enhancement Scheme, GES. Details with Musa Babaliu.
The Growth Enhancement Scheme that is being substituted allows farmers access mechanization services at 50% subsidy, while federal and state governments make up the balance. But the minister
we don't hustle, we don't make up, we don't spend time in cash. For the life you gave us, brother. We did your race, I look for you, not only you be your God. Wake up in the morning, wanna thank your God. We got up today, say your night was short. Some people can't sleep, some people were sick, some people were lying full of blood. Maka gini, wanna gini, because it don't make money, make a delay. Last 2 years in the raz, not kumiri. Right now in the Paris, the Lamborghini. Hey, man, that's a great look. I'm alive today, did you want to? I'm a master's grand shot, well look. Life is short at the same, man, I'm 20. So walk, you wait to deep. You want worrying, go one day, tabi, we are gone, who happen to you, we're banging, kaya, got this shit. We don't hustle, we don't make up, we don't spend time in cash. For the life you gave us for Batwale, from that to grace, Ingwano Biale. Look, we just think of God, Makifini, Numero, Gata Chubue. Imano Wapamimi, and when then I put it to when then I'm milling. In a whole lot of station, when in Angole, Ndona, some more happen yesterday. Don't cook on your Bukaina Jolly, or boy, if you would take you know, buddy. I take us no way, because don't worry, anybody may ban, sorry. Akaka, open your hand for that. Akaka, in a leno yana cash. Akaka, come at the body, and the phone, boy, and Calabash. Akaka, Baba God, the shape of the life you gave us for that. We don't hustle, we don't make us, we don't spend time in cash. Akaka, Baba God, the shape of the life you gave us for that. We did your race, salute for you, not only you be your God. It's the day again, like every rainy season, I'm a rain. Status so high, I'm a throne like a queen. No need to ask, you know, not me the rain. I can my sweet mom feet. I'm a let me move on your GC. Master club, that for SDT. On my desk, got Mr. TC. Thank you. Akaka, Baba God, the shape of the life you gave us for that. We don't hustle, we don't make up, we don't spend time in cash. Akaka, Baba God, the shape of the life you gave us for that. We did your race, salute for you, not only you be your God. African lady dance, she go dance fire dance. She go dance fire dance like that. Girl I shake it for the man. He like a toja cola, so girl I shake it for the town. Show me love feel well, I go love feel well. But I do that to them all, let me chuku chuku lo my bell. I'm on a feather, I'm not gonna keep it easy, slow. When you take it easy and I am brother, easy, Dr. Amir.
This for the figure.
can take me not to my blessing. No, no, no. You can take me not to my blessing. You can take me not to my woman. I go fight. You can take me not for the figure. I'm not there to the cry for you. I'm not there to the beg you. Pom 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 every day. Carry on cannot to man the money. Biscuit and mineral man the package. But I beg Father, no one let me call you. Father, I know me to disturb you. Going to you, Lord, make the whole thing set. Man, I tired of all those assassins. We won't get more than 1 million ringgits. Me tell me mama say we must not bring that. But I love bless me. Take my hands and bless me. Anything I not touch me. I wanna bless you. And I love bless me. Take my hands and bless me. And what I don't even put them get up here. If I show you someone I'm blessing. If I didn't know what I did not touch you. I'm a love you, but in your give me that, give me that, give me that, give me that, copy that, copy that, copy that, copy that. But I'm not going to send the blessings in the feet, Father. To the north, send the blessings first, Father. To the south, bless them make a good man, Father. To the west, yeah, the blessing be blessed. What is up? I'm not there to the cry for you. I'm not there to the beg you. Pom 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 every day. Carry on not to make the money. Biscuit and mineral men the package. But I beg you, pick up the good. Say no more, I'm a yo. Say no more, Papa. Say no more, Tinaka. Bless me well, bless me well. Some more, bless me well. Yeah, bless me well. Say no more, Tinaka. Say no more, say no more, say no more. Tinaka. Bless me well, Papa me. Bless me well, Papa me. Bless me well, Papa me. Bless me well. We don't hustle, we don't make up, we don't spend time in cash. For the shape of the life you gave us for that. We did your race, I look for you, not only you be your Wake up in the morning, wanna thank your God. You got up today, say your night was short. Some people can't sleep, some people were sick, some people were lying full of blood. Maka gini, wanna gini, because it don't make money, make a delay. Last 2 years in the raz, not to committee. Right now, in the Paris, the Lamborghini. Hey, in my not to pray, I'm alive today. Did you have one? I'm a master's franchise, life is short at the same, man, I'm 20. So walk, you wait to deep. You won't worry, go one day, Tabi, we ain't gonna who happened to you, but I'm worrying, God, this is it.
only you be your Oluwa twale from that to get singwano biale. Look, we just think of a God, my kipini numero agasta chukwe. Imano wapo kwa mimi, onwende na peroti wende na mele. Inakula teteshi mani na ngole, ndona sumbo hapu nyasele. Kutonku ponye bukaina jolly, okwe fukute fika na body. Etaka sino mwegi, because don't worry, anybody never, nana, sorry. Akaka, okunyera ndo fadaji. Akaka, inaele no ya nakasi. Akaka, matapaji, the phone, boya kokalabashi. Akaka, baba godo, shepa the life you gave us for that. We don't hustle, we don't make us, we don't spend time in cash. Akaka, baba godo, shepa the life you gave us for that. We did your race, I look for you, not only you be your God. It's the D again, like every rainy season, I'm a rain. Status so high, I'm matching like a queen. No need to ask, you know not me the rain. I can my sweet mom feet. I'm a let me move on your GC. Master club, that boys beat me. On my dance, God, Mr. PC. Thank you. Akaka, baba, God, the shape of the life you gave us for that. We don't hustle, we don't make us, we don't spend time in cash. Akaka, baba, God, the shape of the life you gave us for that. We did your race, I lose for you, not only you need your God.
Music man, you know, Banky W, Mr. Capable. Let me get my swag on real quick. Here we go. Listen, hey yo, laser sharp hairline shaped by Dominicans. Mr. Capable is back with his pad and his pen again. Catch me in the Bronx politicking with mommies, blowing up like I'm more juiced up than Rocky. Mad cause your girl fell in love with a black man. Yes, I'm so African, tell by my accent. Yes, I'm Nigerian, damn right I am packing. And yes, I'm the future, the rest of these is past tense.
I rap Nigeria. Whether I live near or far, I can be out in Yankee or even posted up in Jan. See, you gotta know who you are, even when you hustle hard. Just follow your dreams and you can be a superstar. Because you can cross rivers in Calabar, you can soar rock out in Abuja, riding off Kaidas in Benin. Doesn't matter, we gon' make it out to the end. Whether you're up north in Kaduna or getting your hustle on in Anambra, riding through traffic in Lagos, you can be from Ebute Meta, from Ebute Meta, from Ebute Meta, from Ebute Meta, Nigeria. Whether you live near or far, you can be out in Yankee or even posted up in Jan. Make know who you be, even when you're hustling. Make you follow your dreams, even if you're from Oshodi, You can cross rivers in Calabar, you can soar rock out in Abuja, riding off Kaidas in Benin. Doesn't matter, we gon' make it out to the end. Whether you're up north in Kaduna, or getting your hustle on in Anambra, riding through traffic in Lagos. You can be from A to Meta, 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 from A to Meta, 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 from A to Meta, 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 from A to Meta, Meta, Meta,
Yeah, EMEZ. It's your boy Banky W, aka Mr. Capable. You know, right now we just did this right here. I'm just having some fun in the studio. We did this for all our Nigerian people, east, west, north, south, everywhere, all around the world. We global, we international. Get your hustle on. Let's go. Bring me back one time. Oh yeah, hey.
You can cross rivers in Calabar. You can sow rock out in Abuja. Riding on kayakas in Benin. Doesn't matter, we gon' make it out to the end. Whether you're up north in Kaduna, or getting your hustle on in Anambra, riding through traffic in Lagos. You can be from A to Meta, 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 Nigeria, we can make it all if we only keep unity, keep unity. We can make it, Nigeria, we can make it, yes. If we only got unity, got unity. Hey, yeah.
Everybody say yeah, yeah. Everybody say yeah, yeah. Right. All of us to the first election, and the second election all in Nigeria, and the second election that you was a pass. Babala nonsense. It passed the rigging. It passed corruption. Which kind of election be this? Babala nonsense. Babala nonsense.
Kano, Abuja, Lagos, America, London, Ghana, Togo, Mali. Yanzu wacce waka ce mu da kiran shakomo saboda haka na so ka ciwa gindinka ka dawo da shi, ka ciwa gindinka ka dawo da shi, ka ciwa gindinka ka dawo da shi. To mu tafi na. Tuyo mu tafi na. Natika Umaru Yayi Umaru Kedua Kasano Batimo Shemo Natika Mudana Tuye All this shit. Network Center.
When I opened the book, you know, I didn't know what I was gonna find. I saw the flash of light just a coming out. Oh, what a beautiful sight. Then I was flying, I was flying. Oh, Superbook, well, I was afraid to look. Superbook, oh, Superbook.
Hello, I'm Jumoke and welcome to another adventure with Superbook. Today we have a remarkable adventure. We're going to see what happened when an enemy people, the Philistines, won a battle against God's people, Israel. Then they took the Holy Ark of the Covenant. I'll give you a clue. The Philistines lived to regret it because that Holy Ark brought them nothing but trouble. Let's go and join our friends.
Our story for today.
Just we want.
As we look in on the house just down the street and around the corner, it looks like someone in the Pieper family is in for a surprise.
Oh, home at last. I'm sure Chris will be surprised. I actually bought what he asked for.
My, he really bought a big present. But I'm
Kennedy, and he has so much to tell us. Let's join Dr. Kennedy in a chat. Hi, Dr. Kennedy. Good to have you on Spoken Word.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here.
How was your trip from Lokoja?
It was okay.
Okay, because you don't look like someone who actually traveled this morning. You look fresh and good.
It was a short trip.
So, Dr. Kennedy, can you just tell us a little about yourself, where you're from, who you are, what we need to know about you?
Yeah, I'm Dr. Kennedy Obokwemu. I'm a medical doctor working with Federal Medical Center Lokoja. I'm also an editor, a novelist, a playwright, and a visionary poet. I'm from Delta State. I served in Kogi State, Ampa local government to be precise. In my service here, I was among the best 5 coppers, and that resulted in automatic employment in my current working place, FMC Lokoja. I'm the second child in a family of 5. 3 boys, 2 girls, and we reside in Abuja.
Alright, you're a medical doctor. How taxing the medical profession is, because it's like people who are into the medical field don't even have time for anything at all. So tell us, how did the flair for writing come about?
I started writing since secondary school from my GSS 3. So before I gained admission to study medicine and surgery, I was a writer. So I don't see myself as a doctor who happens to be a writer.
Okay.
I started with the literary profession before I delved into medicine and surgery. So for me, it's a perfect blend, medicine and literature. It's a perfect combination for me.
You have written quite a number of poems, though we've not seen them published in hard copy yet. What do you intend to do with those poems?
Yes, I have over 5,000 structured poems. And even though I don't have them on hard copies yet, there are various online platforms where writers could go ahead and publish their works. CreativePoems.com, Storymania.com, etc. I have a lot of works there. So writers could go ahead, publish, participate in various contests, and even win fantastic prizes and individual awards. So I do intend to have them in hard copies. I'm just taking it one step at a time. What I have now are 2 novels. After that, I'll know exactly what the next step will be.
When you were in school, towards the end of your 500 level, thereabouts, okay, you wrote this novel, Every Time We Meet. And there's something about it that's quite catchy. You said, if you don't shed a tear after reading this, then you're not human at all.
Yes, that didn't come from me. That was one of our reviewers. So when I wrote that work, I sent it over to her and she reviewed it. That was her comment. So it shows how deeply emotional that story is. Okay. It was a very, very intriguing story, inspired by a very bitter, personal, emotional experience. So that was where the crux of that story came from. And then I was also there were various research about Nigeria, and the conclusion was we are actually the happiest people in the world. But there was a counter research that revealed that Nigeria is actually the worst place in the world to live in. So these contrasting research, they were intriguing to me. They were shocking. Despite our numerous troubles, despite our insecurity issues, could we still be classified the happiest people in the world? So that forms the crux of that particular story. I wanted that to be what would inspire the major character in that novel. So I also had to explore to get other creative minds in terms of the various supporting casts for that major character. So it's a deeply emotional story, and it was a very fantastic experience for me while I was in university.
You mentioned earlier that it was one book that actually was one book standing at the time you wrote it.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Yes, the good thing about it is I have had that story since secondary school, so I just needed the time to develop it. I didn't want to finish my medical school without coming out with that publication. Okay. So despite my very busy schedule, I had to squeeze out time. Even though my lecturers were seriously complaining, you want to fail your exams, you want to get out of the medical school, how can you say you're writing a novel? It's unheard of. But I was determined. I knew exactly what I wanted. So I went ahead and I published it. And then the launching was fantastic. I sold over 1,000 copies within the first week of its publication. So it was a breakthrough for me. It was something deeply satisfying. And I never regretted that particular action.
And then your latest novel, you just concluded, Twisted. What actually inspired Twisted?
Yes, Twisted is a revolutionary piece of literature. It was published in the United States of America, and it's available in over 146 countries. It's a thriller. Now it's a follow-up. It's like an upgrade of the novel I published while I was in medical school. Okay. So after publishing that first novel, at the time of its publication, I want to emphasize this, it was the first full-length futuristic romantic suspense novel by a writer of African origin. Never in the history of the African continent had a novel of that magnitude been published by an undergraduate. Okay. I say that with
Jigawa State prepares to receive President Muhammadu Buhari as he begins a 2-day working visit.
APC local government congresses described as free, fair and credible.
The Nigerian Air Force deploys special forces to Taraba State.
On Good Morning Nigeria today, we interrogate Nigeria's currency swap agreement with China.
We shall also discuss the ongoing congresses of the All Progressives Congress. It's the season of politics, and the build-up to 2019 continues to gain momentum. Politicians, political parties, and party members have rolled up their sleeves and are sweating it out on the field.
That's right, Joy. Now, even before the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, released the timetable for the 2019 general elections, many politicians and political parties were already strategizing and putting their houses in order in a bid to gain ground when E-Day arrives.
Of course, Kingsley. The ruling All Progressives Congress has been busy in the field with its congresses, which began at the ward level and last Saturday held at the local government level across the country, except for a few states which had scheduled local government elections.
Now, the APC has adjudged the congresses so far has been largely successful and in line with its plans to work for victory at the polls in 2019. Now, this is in spite of some complaints by some members who feel shortchanged.
That's right. Members and many political analysts have also acknowledged that there were some cases of irregularities in some places that needed to be attended to, for which the party says it is dealing with through its constituted mechanisms.
So, this morning we shall again look at the APC congresses, particularly the local government congresses that took place at the weekend, as we engage some actors and analysts.
Our second topic of discussion is the currency swap deal between Nigeria and China, which the CBN said is valued at 16 billion yuan and equivalent to $2.5 billion, aimed at providing adequate local currency liquidity for Nigeria and Chinese industrialists.
Now, Nigeria is said to be the biggest Chinese investment destination in Africa, the second largest export market and the third largest trading partner to China on the continent. Now, this bilateral trade between both countries is put at about $12.3 billion US.
So this morning we intend to make sense of the currency swap deal as we engage experts who will explain the pros and cons. This is Good Morning Nigeria here on the Nigerian Television Authority, Africa's largest television network. I am Joy Usiago.
And I'm Kingsley Osadolo. I join my colleague Joy and also welcome you to the program, in the course of which we shall bring you regular complimentary segments, including newspaper review, business, sports, and others. Right now, we are kicking off with the news, and here's our other colleague, Claire Adelabu Abdurazak, with the morning news. Hi, Claire.
Hi, Kingsley and Joy. Hope you both had a good weekend. All right, let's begin with President Buhari's visit to Jigawa State, and where the people say it is an honor to receive the #1 citizen and pledge to support his second-term bid come 2019.
Together with my members of NSC representative of workers, we will come out in mass to receive Mr. President.
This is the home of Muhammadu Buhari, and we are much committed to him because of his integrity, his accountability.
And Minister of Mines, Steel and Development, Dr. John Kayode has emerged winner of the APC governorship primary election in Ekiti. He polled a total of 941 votes to defeat 31 other aspirants.
And every bit of the process that we underwent during this exercise had been hugely successful, courtesy to our cooperation, understanding, and total commitment to our party.
Let me therefore seize this opportunity to apologize to those who might have been offended in one way or another by our policies and programs.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated former Governor of Ekiti State and Minister of Mines and Solid Minerals, Kayode Fayemi, for winning the All Progressive Congress APC ticket to contest the July 14th 2018 governorship elections. In a statement by a senior special assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, President Buhari commended all the participants in the keenly contested primary and urged them to keep upholding the values and philosophy of the party by supporting the candidate in the forthcoming elections. The President notes that the successful primaries in the state with more than 30 aspirants further validates the credentials of the APC on internal democracy and its preparedness to take the country to another level of development. And now to more details from the local government congresses of the All Progressives Congress held nationwide. Olajide Bello put together reports from some states in the country.
Happy and thrilled. So we really cannot wait for all the congresses and even our ultimate convention to take place.
Adopted here in Benue State is to sit down and talk amongst ourselves and agree on who gets what and who doesn't get what. And to a large extent, it's a model that has worked.
And the Nigerian Air Force has deployed 3 wings of NAP Special Forces to the 23 Quick Response Wing in Nguruje in Taraba State, in line with presidential directive to beef up security in that state. The Director of Operations, Air Vice Marshal Napoleon Bali, says the deployment is in addition to the 3 Quick Response Wings in Benue and Taraba states, respectively.
Accordingly, and in line with one of the key drivers of the Chief of Air Staff, which is focus on comradeship, regimentation, inter-service cooperation, I also urge you to partner with your other security agencies. You are here to add value to whatever security arrangements that has been in existence in Taraba State.
And the federal government is to introduce a new program called Agriculture Implement and Mechanization Scheme, which will enable smallholder farmers have access to heavy-duty equipment to boost their agricultural activities. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Aldo Ogbe, who disclosed this in Abuja, said the new program will substitute Growth Enhancement Scheme, GES.
We're hoping to have a distributor or 2 in every local government in the country who will distribute certified seeds, fertilizer, chemicals, knapsack sprayer services and so on in every local government.
And those are the morning news. Join us again at 10. For now, don't go away. Kingsley and Joy will be back for Double Decker topic today.
Unemployment, notably youth unemployment, features strongly in our party's manifesto. We intend to attack the problem frontally through revival of agriculture.
Is going a long way. Actually, I bought an acre of land for 60k like 2012, and presently I have a cassava farm and a yam farm.
Organized, trained, and fully equipped, we are the new improved Nigeria Police Force. We fight crime, we bust syndicates. Whatever the crime, wherever the hideout, the Nigeria Police Force will get you busted. Stop kidnapping, armed robbery, murder, pipeline vandalism, and other criminal activities. Be productive. Be security conscious. Join the police force to secure your life and property. This message is from the Nigeria Police Force Public Relations Department.
Don't bring Nigeria to this lie.
Most of us believe in buying anything foreign. We believe that if a product is imported, then it must be better.
The combo mentality.
Patronize Nigeria, and you will see that Nigeria too can put a smile on your face.
I don't know that Nigeria is doing good now.
Many agree and many disagree.
I hope these are not made in Nigeria.
Can made in Nigeria goods put a smile on your face too?
Of course. We're improving in the quality of our products.
Find out in Made in Nigeria. This week's episode of a rib-cracking comedy, Professor John Bull, and laugh like never before.
How much is my total? Your money is 32,000 naira. 32,000 naira for just a pant and a top. Because it's free. Flash, come and pay now. Flash, Baba.
Over and out.
Brought to you by Glow,
the largest data network. Glow Unlimited.
NTA Television College, an affiliate of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, has over the years maintained her reputation of putting together courses that are highly relevant to manpower needs of the broadcast industry. The college is again organizing a 4-week course on English grammar and pronunciation for broadcasters, slated for 21st May to 15th June 2018. Come and take advantage of our top-notch and intensive course designed to grow the skills of television presenters, scriptwriters, news editors, journalists, hosts of live events in just 4 weeks. Venue, multipurpose complex, NTA Television College, Rayfield, Jos. Fee is 100,000 naira per participant. Accommodation inclusive. Be there. NTA Television College, Jos, training you to be the best you can be.
Helen! Your kitchen gets 10 out of 10. Thank you. This also gets a 10. Should we see the toilet now?
Sure.
This gets just 1.
It is clean.
But not perfect 10.
Better than my detergent and bleach? Impossible.
Challenge? Try the new Apic 10X. Compared to bleach and detergent, Apic sticker formulation removes yellow stains times better, giving you a sparkling clean toilet.
Wow.
Now you also take that
Apic 10X challenge.
Also available in 200 ml pack.
the Smartphone Network.
Thanks for staying with us and good morning, Nigeria, this Monday morning. Bank of America projects crude oil price could hit $100 per barrel in 2019 as a Nigerian entrepreneur in body care business appeals for greater government regulation for the nation's cosmetics industry for better economic benefits. These and more on Business News with Joy Uzo.
A warm welcome to Business News. The Bank of America has projected that crude oil prices could hit $100 per barrel in 2019. This is even as Goldman Sachs predicts $82.50 price by the summer of 2018. This is good news for Nigeria's economic growth as the nation's crude production level reached 2.07 million barrels per day in March 2018. The Bank of America's projection is premised on strong global oil demand, falling inventories and geopolitical developments arising from Iran and Venezuela. Moving on now, a trained esthetician has advocated for more scrutiny and supervision of the cosmetics industry, especially for indigenous formulators. This is to ensure proper regulation of the cosmetics and body care business in Nigeria.
Most times too is money. When you don't have money, you don't get that training. So if government can give scholarship to formulators or intending formulators, you know, maybe probably send them abroad or something, train them, or bring in professionals that will train them very well, then it's also be good, because when they're well trained and they know everything about formulation and they know products and they know how to preserve products, yeah, it will go a long way to, you know, help us get better formulators in Nigeria. And because a lot of things about skincare, most of them don't really take the safety part of it into consideration, because some of these products that are not well formulated are what causes a lot of skin issues in Nigeria. If we have people that are very good at that and are well known, yes, why will you go import something when you have someone here in your country that can actually produce that?
The economic value of the cosmetics and body care business in Nigeria is said to be growing at an encouraging pace. Moving to the equities market, despite closing out the previous week on a positive note, the Nigerian Stock Exchange posted a week-on-week decline of 48 basis points amidst earlier weightier declines. Bearish sentiments prevailed as yields advanced by 187 basis points on the average week-on-week in the Treasury bills space and 30 basis points on the average week-on-week on benchmark bonds. And with that, we wrap up business news. Many thanks for watching. I am Joy Uzo.
All right, thank you very much, Joy Uzo, for the business package on Good Morning Nigeria. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll continue with the program.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There is no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Brought us as usual.
As usual. You're welcome, sir.
As usual, yeah.
You take that one. You don't understand? We want Nigerian homegrown life. Finish. You don't have. You don't have.
Join the rice revolution today.
No other rice that tastes like Nigerian rice. Are you sorry? That's the Nigerian rice we are talking about. Chocolate made in Nigerian rice. Healthy food. I'm going to bring Mrs. Noble with their Noble to come to chocolate rice of made in Nigeria here. And see how it are made. Correct. How they are cook it. Correct. Homegrown rice are good for your health. It will boost our economy and will give employment to our people.
This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Can I see your particulars, sir?
Officer, my particulars no dey here.
In that case, you'll have to come with me to the police station.
Officer, which levels? Where I for find you something make you take arrange your weekend.
What? Offense number 1, driving without particulars. Offense number 2, trying to bribe an officer of the law. I won't harass Nigerians or take bribe. Change begins with me.
This message is brought to you by the National Orientation Agency in conjunction with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the daring and invincible Louis the Mosquito, responsible for 200 malaria cases all on its own. Is there anything that can kill Louis? Morphine! Presented Mortis on God. Its powerful formula kills malaria mosquitoes fast. So, get Mortis the Power Guard.
If you don't get money, hide your face. You can call his phone doctor. Omo ya teacher. What's it bad penalty or throwing?
Airtel, the smartphone network.
All right.
Thank you for staying with us. Now, the congresses of the All Progressives Congress, which started at the world level on May 5th, continued last Saturday with the local government congresses holding across the country.
Again, there were various reports on the conduct of the local government congresses, with many many of those congresses being described as peaceful, free and fair, while others were followed by complaints of some discrepancies, or in fact the Congress did not hold altogether. So this morning we are analyzing the conduct of the congresses of the APC at the local government level. We have two guests who will be joining us for this conversation. From our Ibadan Network Studios, we have Professor Adeolu Akonde. Professor Adeolu Akonde is also chairman of the Nigerian Information Technology Development Agency, NIDA. Professor Akonde, pleasure to have you with us on Good Morning Nigeria.
Good morning, it's my pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Also joining us from our Enugu Network Studios, we have Dr. Hilary Eze. Dr. Eze is the chairman of the APC in Imo State. Pleasure to have you with us on the program.
Thank you. It's my pleasure, but Hilary Eke, not Hilary Eze.
For that correction, we also understand that you are a chief. I wasn't quite sure whether it was high chief, but Dr. Eke, thanks a lot for being with us on the program this morning. All right, so let's begin the conversation by first going to Professor Adeolu Akonde from our Ibadan Network Studios. Give us a sense of your assessment of the conduct of the APC congresses so far.
Well, thank you. The exercise was successful and peaceful in most states, but we do have states where there are challenges, including Oyo State, where we had issues bordering on the integrity of the process, leading to the emergence of two factions conducting parallel congresses. We had a challenge with transparency, we had challenge with attempt by a faction to impose its will, the minority faction trying to impose its will on the majority members of the party by claiming that they had an affirmative action in which they had a list of candidates that they said they affirmed and who had been elected, which is against the guidelines of the political party APC, which insists that you must have election even where you have only one candidate who had collected nomination for, you must go into yes or no votes, and then where you have majority of yes votes, the single candidate is declared the winner. But the experience in Oyo State is we had people who sat in a corner and compiled a list of 9,477 party ward officials and claimed that they had been elected by affirmation, which is against the policy, the guidelines of the party, and is against the will of majority members of the party in the state.
Still with you, Professor Akonde, you talk about affirmation being against the will of the party, but in some other states of the Federation, first at the world level and again at the local government congress, we saw some consensus in terms of the nomination or ratification of the candidates, who were presented on the various slates. How is consensus any different from affirmation?
Well, consensus is where all the stakeholders involved in the exercise agree that they have decided on the slate of
the double jeopardy, and I'm going to explain this, that we face daily. Look at the quantum, look at the number of people who are transacting business heading towards China. And then, hitherto, what we've been doing is we take our naira, we change into dollars, we head to China. When we get there, we change the dollar into yuan. So at the point of changing from naira to dollar, you lose some value. And then upon getting to China, you now change from dollars again to yuan. You lose another value. And that would have been benefits accruing, because little coins that you lose in that chain makes a huge money. By the time you accumulate 68.3% of these people who are moving, accumulate that in terms of amount of money, then you now find out how much Nigerians and Nigerian economy is losing. And that's why this particular policy from the CBN has our thumbs up. Again, I think many people should understand that this particular policy is presenting naira to the international community, presenting naira, the currency belonging to Nigeria, to an international currency unwittingly, so to speak. And then by the time this comes up, naira is now coming to play with foreign currencies, that trade is denominated with, trade is associated with. And I think that for traders, we are going to gain quite a lot. All the chase for dollar will reduce. Or you can now open up your letter of credit directly and you transact your business. And for those who are at the industrial lane, those people, this will facilitate technology transfer, and I'm going to explain this later. This will facilitate industrial movement towards these coasts. However, it depends on the way that our agencies track and monitor and are ready to regulate this. And I think that it is something that, is a good target. If, for instance, and I didn't mention this, the Nigerian Export Promotion Council begins to look at the other trade and the other angle of trade, because we are import dependent. But here we are now, a window, a vista of opportunity has been opened through this particular policy for export. It is important now for us to look at those agencies saddled with the responsibility of trade, export trade essentially, and then to unite, to collaborate with traders and traders associations to identify which of the commodities can we leverage upon to export to China and to the Asian tigers.
Just to follow up quickly on the issues you have raised. It sounds interesting hearing this coming from you. Now let's look at your members. How prepared are they to take advantage of this policy? You talk about agencies, but let's also look at your own group. How prepared are they?
Well, just on Friday, I was surprised I was called here. On Friday, we sent out a press release on this matter after our deliberations on Thursday by the management. And one of the key things that came out very clearly, first after commending the central bank and you know, the government of Nigeria over this, was that traders will need to take advantage of this opportunity. But the job starts from proper sensitization of the traders. And of course, Dr. Malafia talked about the risks associated with it. There are a lot of risks, not only to traders, but majorly to the economy. And this is where sensitization, the CBN would need to collaborate with our organizations to ensure that there is proper sensitization of traders who are going to be engaged in this. First, what does this mean? Because in the next 4, 5, 6 months, you will not be surprised to see some traders who are still going to be really going with their dollar to China. Now, you need to conscientize them. You need to inform them of this new policy. Don't forget that this was just signed. The next platform should be the education. What does it mean? What are the contents of the agreement? And then I also think that the CBN would help the economy by releasing that particular MOU, the agreement. Let it be made clear so that some of us on the EU is of a different quality, extremely high quality. If I were the president of this country, I would go with the DG of Standard Organization of Nigeria. We will go to meet Xi Jinping, president of China, and all his top authorities on trade. We shall sign a new law banning any product that is not of European or American standard from China coming to this country. This dumping is dangerous. It is leading to deindustrialization in this country. It is blocking manufacturing progress in this country. We must put an end to it by all means necessary. Having said that, trading with China is good. We need to be very clear. Vagueness. What is the interest rate structure of these swaps? And actually, what is the exchange rate? What have we agreed is the exchange rate between the yuan and the renminbi?